Hello everyone, welcome to the TSAT TET coaching classes. In the earlier sessions, we have discussed in detail about the parts of speech, different types of parts of speech and their categories, etc., etc. In today's session, we are going to discuss something about conjunctions, one of the parts of speech called conjunctions. We have done very briefly in the earlier sessions when we were discussing parts of speech, but in today's session we will be discussing about conjunctions in detail. Let us get into this study. Conjunctions are called as joining words and also called as connectives, right? And what do they join and what do they connect? A conjunction may join words, connect words, or join phrases, connect phrases, or join clauses, connect clauses. Not only these words, phrases and clauses are being linked or joined, connected through conjunctions, but also the sentences, etc., etc. Right? So that we will be able to maintain a sequence of the idea which is presented through the sentences. So conjunctions play a very important role in conveying the meaning to the fullest extent. Now we will see the different types of conjunctions, right? The first type of conjunctions is coordinate conjunctions. What do you mean by coordinate conjunctions? Coordinate conjunctions join words that are same parts of speech. Coordinate conjunctions join words that are the same parts of speech. You must remember this. Coordinate conjunctions join words that are the same parts of speech. A noun with a noun, an adjective with an adjective, etc. A noun with a noun, an adjective with an adjective. If you are going to join these noun with a noun, you have to make use of a coordinate conjunction, right? Now, there are 7 coordinate conjunctions. In the earlier sessions, when we were discussing about parts of speech, I told you to remember a word called fanboys. If you remember the word fanboys, you will be able to remember very easily these 7 coordinate conjunctions. What are those? Here they come: for, and, but, are, yet, so, right? You see the first letter of each word: F, A, N, B, O, Y and S. Fanboys. If you are able to remember the word fanboys, you will be able to remember 7 coordinate conjunctions. I have given one example for each and every coordinate conjunction here. For, he needs to find a job. For he is unemployed. For he is unemployed. He needs to find a job, for he is unemployed. And Maria loves both ice cream and pizza, right? Maria loves both ice cream and pizza. Ice cream, pizza, these two are connected with and, coordinate conjunction called and. Okay. Then nor, neither Tuesday nor Wednesday. Tuesday, Wednesday belong to the same parts of speech. Is good for the party. Neither Tuesday nor Wednesday is good for the party. But she scored good marks, but she is not satisfied. She scored good marks, but she is not satisfied. Or, which fruit do you like, mango or apple? These two belong to the same part of speech. Which fruit do you like? Mango or apple? Yet. She dances well, yet she hesitates to take part in the competition. Right? She dances well, yet she hesitates to take part in the competition. The last one, so he is unwell, so he will not come with us to the movie. He is unwell, so he is not, he is unwell, so he will not come with us to the movie. So, you should be able to remember these coordinate conjunctions with the help of this fanboy. For and na, but, or, yet and so. Right? I told you some people use mnemonic fanboys to remember them. Then you should be very careful in terms of using these coordinating conjunctions with reference to the punctuations. Right? When joining two independent clauses, a comma is placed before the conjunction. Two independent clauses, when you join them, you must make use of the comma. Mary, example is being given here. Mary went to the writing center, but John went home. These two are the independent clauses. John went home is an independent clause. Mary went to the writing center. But when you are going to mix them, when you are going to join them, you use a conjunction called but. Before that, you have to make use of the comma. Mary went to the writing center, but John went home. So this is how it goes. Then here, the cat and the dog always eat and sleep together. Here we are joining two nouns and two verbs. The cat and the dog always eat and sleep together. The cat and the dog is two nouns, eat and sleep. These are two verbs, right? So that's how we make use of these conjunctions. And. After the hike and before dinner, they peeled vegetables and told stories. After the hike and before the dinner, they peeled vegetables and told stories. Two prepositional phrases and two verbs, right? After the hike and before dinner, these two are called prepositional phrases and two verbs. They peeled and told, these are conjunctions which we made use of. See here, two adjectives and two verbs. The young and restless children ran quickly and effortlessly. Two adjectives. The young and the restless. The young and restless, these two are adjectives. Two adverbs, we are joining them. Quickly and effortlessly. So, how and is used here. The girls sang and the boys danced. Two complete ideas. The girls sang and the boys danced. Here we made use of the conjunction called and. I want to go, but I can't find the time. Here also two ideas, two different ideas are joined with the conjunction called but. You can write a report or you can make a speech. Here also we made use of two ideas. We used two ideas with the help of conjunction called or. She couldn't attend school for she had no money. Two ideas we used for here. He always gets lost, yet he never carries a map. Here also we joined two ideas with the conjunction called yet. It rained, so they cancelled the outing. Two ideas with the help of conjunction called so. So this is about coordinating conjunctions. Should be able to remember for, and, not, but, or, yet and so. Easy to remember with the help of this word called fanboys. I gave you some of the examples, you may follow them. Now second type of conjunctions is a correlative conjunctions. Correlative conjunctions. This is a small group of conjunctions which are used similar to the coordinating conjunctions, but they are always used in pairs, right. Correlative conjunctions are used in pairs. For example, one example is being given here, not only but also, not only but also. Example sentence is also given here, Harold was not only late but also at the wrong address. Harold was not only late but also at the wrong address. Second correlative conjunction, neither nor. Example is here, Harold was neither on time nor at the right address. Harold was neither on time nor at the right address. The next correlative conjunction, either or. Harold was either late or lost. Harold was either late or lost, whether or. Example, I don't care whether Harold gets here or not. I don't care whether Harold gets here or not. Next one, both and. Harold was either late or lost. Both and. Both Harold and Steve arrived 2 hours late. Both Harold and Steve arrived 2 hours late, right. Both and. Next, as and as. His scorecard was not as bad as I thought. His scorecard was not as bad as I thought. Hardly when. Hardly had he reached the stop when the bus started. Hardly had he reached the stop when the bus started. No sooner than. No sooner had the teacher entered the classroom than the students kept quiet. No sooner had the teacher entered the classroom than the students kept quiet. Here, the more, the more. The more he flattered his boss, the more incentives he got. The more he flattered his boss, the more incentives he got. So as. Her poetry wasn't so boring as he had thought. Her poetry wasn't so boring as he had thought. Next one, such that. She is such a beautiful actress that everyone is a fan. Such that. She is such a beautiful actress that everyone is her fan. Rather than. He would rather cook at home than go out for dinner. Rather than. He would rather cook at home than go out for the dinner. This is about correlative conjunctions. Now, subordinating conjunctions. Right? This is the third category of conjunctions. These connect dependent clauses, these subordinating conjunctions connect dependent clauses to independent clauses, introducing the dependent clause and showing the relationship between the two clauses. See here, example, when John received a poor grade, he went to the writing center. See here, he went to the writing center when John received a poor grade. Likewise, Mary did well on her essay because she visited the writing center. Mary did well on her essay because she visited the writing center. Okay. 5 meanings which are conveyed by subordinating conjunctions: condition, unless; cause, because; time, after; manner, as; contrast, although. Right? When condition is explained, we have to make use of unless, cause, because; time, after; manner, as; and contrast, although. Here is a list of some subordinating conjunctions: after, although, as if, as long as, as though, because, before, even though, if only, in as much as, in case, in so far, as, no matter how, once, rather than, since, that, the day, unless, until, when, whenever, where, and while. There are certain subordinating conjunctions ending in that. Assuming that, except that, for fear that, given that, in order that, in the hope that, now that, on the grounds that, proving that, save that, seeing that, so that. One example I have given here, now that you are doing better, I hope you will come by. Now that you are doing better, I hope you will come by. So, now that is used here. Okay. Some information is being given here. How do we go about in terms of using punctuations with reference to subordinating the class? A comma should follow an introductory adverb class. If the subordinate and the dependent class is non-essential, comma should be placed before and after the class. See here, before the curtain fell, the actors bowed. Before the curtain fell, the actors bowed. The first aspect, Mary, who is senior, is the lead in the school play. This is the second aspect. So, that is how you go about in terms of using appropriate punctuation marks. Subordinating correlative conjunctions, right, and subordinating conjunctions come in pairs. The subordinating correlative conjunctions examples are being given here, and such that, if, then, no sooner than, scarcely, when, so that. If Mary is not going, then neither I am. Sorry, if Mary is not going, then neither am I. No sooner had John left than Susie arrived. So, these are called as subordinating correlative conjunctions. And these are the last category of conjunctions called adverbial conjunctions, right. These serve as a link between independent clauses. They differ from the coordinating conjunctions because they are not limited to one person, they are not limited to one position, and they are punctuated differently, right. So, repeat, these serve as a link between two independent clauses. They differ from the coordinating conjunctions because they are not limited to one position and they are punctuated differently. See here, the writer has several choices when using adverbial conjunctions. Note the punctuation each sentence in the examples below. Coordinating conjunction. Mary is funny, but Susie is funnier. Since adverbial conjunction. Mary is funny, however, Susie is funnier. Second context. Mary is funny, however, Susie is funnier. Then the third context. Mary is funny, Susie is funnier, however. The last context. Mary is funnier, Susie, however, is funnier. Something like this, right. So, this is some information about adverbial conjunctions, right, how they are used in terms of illustrating. For example, incidentally, namely, that it, when you are trying to illustrate something, when you are adding something, after all, also, besides, further, furthermore, likewise, moreover, second, similarly, when you are trying to compare this, compare two things, contrast conjunctions. Alternatively, however, in contrast, instead, nevertheless, otherwise, on the other hand, still. Qualification, certainly, indeed, in fact, perhaps, possibly, undoubtedly, when you are trying to explain result. Accordingly, as a result, consequently, hence, therefore, thus, something like this. When you are trying to explain the attitude, frankly, happily, unfortunately, luckily, something like that. When you are trying to explain summary, in other words, in summary to, conclude, and when you are trying to explain the time, at first, finally, meanwhile, now, then, thereafter. So, these are some of the conjunctions which you make use of. And the last type of conjunctions is relative pronouns. At times, these relative pronouns are also used as conjunctions, right? And these words are relative pronouns: who, whom, which, that, who, whomever, whichever. I repeat: who, whom, which, that, whomever, whichever. Okay? And don't confuse them with interrogative pronouns used to start a question or pronouns. Now, examples how they are being given here. The club always has good entertainment, demonstrative adjective. That is a good idea, demonstrative pronoun, right? Ivan said that here, that here, that here. Ivan said that he will be working, relative pronoun, right? Then what did you say? What? What did you say? Interrogative pronoun. They guessed what I was giving them for Christmas, a relative pronoun. So, in this sense, we are going to make use of these conjunctions. Who is the designated driver? Interrogative pronoun. The driver who has hired last week was laid off, relative pronoun. Who was, something like this. So, these are the different types of conjunctions, right? Remember, mostly you will be asked questions from the fanboys. You should be able to remember that. Mostly you will be able to score marks. Let us sum up whatever we have discussed so far about conjunctions. You should remember the conjunctions or joining words, and the conjunctions are also called as connectives. And what is the responsibility of these conjunctions? They join words, they join phrases, and they join clauses. They also join sentences, right? So, coordinating conjunctions, these coordinating conjunctions join the same words which belong to the same category of part of speech, like nouns to noun, adjectives to adjective. I also gave you some of the examples, right? And these coordinating conjunctions you should be able to remember with a word called fanboys. And let me give you the explanation. F stands for for, and A stands for and, N stands for nor, B stands for but, O stands for or, Y stands for yet, and S stands for so on, right? So, this is, you take the first letter of this for, and, not, but, or, yet, and so you will have a word called fanboys. I have given you here fanboys to remember them, right? So, this is one thing that you have to remember about coordinating conjunctions. I gave you some of the examples also about two verbs, two nouns, and two prepositional phrases and two verbs, and two adjectives and two verbs, two complete ideas, two ideas, and etc. etc. The second category which we are supposed to discuss is about correlative conjunctions. these are much similar to the coordinating conjunctions, but these coordinating conjunctions are always used in pairs. Please remember, correlative conjunctions appear to be similar to the coordinating conjunctions, but correlative conjunctions are always used in pair. Let me give you examples: not only but also, neither nor, either or, whether or, both and, whether or, both and, as, hardly when, right, and the more, so as, such that, right, something like this. So we are going to remember these correlative conjunctions. Then subordinating conjunctions, right, dependent clause to independent clause. Okay. Then these subordinating conjunctions, these subordinating conjunctions convey 5 important meanings of condition, cause, time, manner and contrast. When condition is explained, we have to use a conjunction called unless. When cause is conveyed, because conjunction is used. When time is explained, after is used. When manner we explain, you make use of the conjunction called as. And when you are trying to differentiate, comparing or contrast, although conjunction is used. I gave you the list of subordinating conjunctions and subordinating conjunctions in that, and also a brief information about the punctuating the subordinating clauses and subordinating correlative conjunctions also, and adverbial conjunctions, okay, how they are supposed to be used and how they are used with reference to the punctuation and how they convey the different meaning also we have discussed. And these are the some of the conjunctions with reference to different context in the sentence. And relative pronouns, these are also used as conjunctions. I have given you brief examples. So please follow them and try to improve your knowledge about conjunctions. 2 to 3 marks will be asked from this area, and I hope you have enjoyed the class, and thank you very much. I wish you all the best.